The UIL has handed down its punishment for Lorenzo High's basketball program. This is a follow-up to our report on the state's investigation into the team's recruiting practices.
KCBD News Channel 11's Natalie Falkenberry joins us now in the studio with the punishment for two players who violated the league's rules and what it means for the team going forward. Natalie?
Well, Karen and Abner, the allegations of recruiting athletes to play basketball at Lorenzo High School came last fall after 7 students from surrounding districts transferred to the school. Now, this raised eyebrows within the district, leading to a UIL investigation to determine if the student should be allowed to compete. One of those students is Jakari Davis, head coach Mitchell's son.
As far as my son, Jakari goes, Jakari did not move for athletic purposes.
That was Jakari's father's response when he was questioned about moving his son from shallow water to Lorenzo. The family claimed Jakari moved to be closer to his family, arguing that playing in Lorenzo would not help his college recruitment.
Jakari is a Division I prospect.
Yes,
so
sir.
Lorenzo certainly is not going to up his standards of recruiting. He came to be with his family.
The committee sided with the Mitchell family and deemed Jakari Davis as eligible to compete at Lorenzo. The second part of the hearing was to discuss Traven McCaslin's eligibility. The committee's main concern began with why the McCaslin family moved their son during his senior year, and that he had previously played on a summer league with Lorenzo players.
It's just, I'm amazed when a kid will move in the middle of their senior year or at the beginning of their senior year.
The McCaslin family claimed that they were looking for a fresh start and that it was not Trevon's decision to move to Lorenzo.
There was nothing to gain for him to do this, is why it's been such a shock that it's been such a mess, because he had nothing to gain from any of this move.
The family then argued that they filled out the correct paperwork and they did not feel like they did anything wrong.
Nothing was done wrong by him or us. I mean, we've done nothing. Everything's been up front. Nothing. We didn't mark it. We didn't mark anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't try to hide it from anybody.
The committee ultimately denied Trevon McCaslin's eligibility to play at Lorenzo High School. The UIL then placed Lorenzo ISD as a whole under a 2-year probation period, meaning the district will be under a close watch for illegal recruitment moving forward. Karen and Abner.
Thank you, Natalie.